Okay, so here's what happened. We're on a plane, my lovely wife and myself sipping a tasty beverage, eating as many really salty nuts as we feel like, and enjoying a perfectly bad movie together. In short, having a grand old time. Across the aisle from us was another family, traveling with their two children, a 2-year-old girl and a very new boy, who had a crying scream so piercing it was annoying people on other planes. The mom, whose hair was graying before her eyes and was caked with something pudding-like, was spending the last of her waning energy trying to shield her eyes from her squirming infant's fast-flying fists. The dad was busy bending or reaching to find one of the truly frightened number of carry-on bags, claspable strollers, fuzzy toys, and a sort of some baby paraphernalia. Why are you letting her eat that? Oh, I didn't. Oh, so she just opened the jar of macadamia nuts by herself. Oh, no, she must have gotten it from the... Just take it from her. I will if you give me a second here. When the time came to get off the plane, my wife and I watched these squawking progeny and their parents gather their belongings. As we grabbed our we don't have any care in the world carry-on bags. We watched the circus for a good long while, then turned to each other simultaneously and said, "May the Lord protect us from ever becoming that." Most of us have some kind of experience with babies. We've either had one, babysat one, or if nothing else, been one ourselves. When it comes to first-time baby books, many parents look for the how-to, when-to, or what-to-expect genre. But this is a first-time dad's perspective on his son's introduction to their family. Babyhood by Paul Reiser. Over the first few months of pregnancy, we watched other couples with babies and concluded that we not only had a lot of things to learn, but a lot of things to buy. People with kids just accumulate an unbelievable amount of stuff. I figured if they went to the trouble of manufacturing it, there's probably a very good reason why, and I'd be crazy not to get one. Unfortunately, I had no idea what I was up against. There's an infinite number of store chains, all with cutesy names that aim to convey both the smallness of babies and the enormity of the selection. Tot Town, Teeny World, Infant Hemisphere, Papoose Palace, and they really are gigantic. The first time my bride and I ventured into one of these retail monsters, I got literally dizzy. Seriously, I had to lie down. The sheer sizes of these places is staggering. 3 miles long, 800 aisles, each a building and a half high, and an unfathomable array of choices. Look at this, a diaper genie. If you rub it and ask it to pick up the diapers, it has to do it? Oh, I think so. The jewel and the baby product crown is the stroller. And if in America you are what you drive, then in Parentland you are what you push. This department even has its own salesman. Well, hi, how are you two this afternoon? Good. Well, actually, we're just looking. Well, of course you are. Well, obviously, you've gone nigh for equality. We do? Absolutely! Oh, this stroller you're looking at here is considered the Cadillac of all strollers. Honey, did you know strollers have a Cadillac? Absolutely! Check out the wheelbase on this baby and the plush interior. Your baby will be riding in the height of comfort and safety. Believe me, when people see you pushing this down the road, they'll say, "Oh, why, there's two people who really care about their child." And you can't believe how many different types of strollers they have. One for every conceivable occasion. You have your heavy-duty everyday stroller, your pack-up-and-travel umbrella stroller, your this is only good for going into the car, into the mall stroller, and your very popular jogger stroller, which when I first saw, I thought was pretty cool. But after having a child, I've come to view this as more of an irritant. Because when you have a newborn, you realize, who has the energy to jog? Ultimately, I say, what kind of nut runs in the street with a baby anyway? That can't be good. Even just walking, I always thought it kind of perverse that people push their kids into traffic ahead of them. The premise of this, apparently, is, if it turns out to be safe enough for the baby, I will then step forward myself. I think they should design a stroller that you drag behind you, or one that attached to your side, so at least you're both taking a risk. But I digress. Would you like to cut the cord? What? Doctor handed me something frightening, shiny, and metal. You're going to cut the cord, aren't you? Okay, here's the thing. I know everybody does it, and it's a magical moment and everything, but what is that? Does merely being at the person's birth automatically qualify a person to perform a medical procedure? If you visit your friend in the hospital, they don't invite you to take out the guy's appendix. Oh, come on, go ahead. We'll be right there, just in case you mess it up. Of course, I did it. I won the experience of that magical moment, and plus I didn't want the doctors to think I was a wimp. I remember that my wife cried like a baby. The baby, ironically, cried like an angry woman in her 30s. I cried like a man exactly my age. Then somebody nice must have packed us up and taken care of everything, because somehow, sometime later, the three of us now and forever a family went home. When you first have your baby at home, your brain is seized with a plethora of potential dangers. There are so many things that can go wrong. In the name of preparation, I came up with a brief list. You could hold them too tight. You could hold them too loose. Carry them upstairs and trip on your pants. You could trip on nothing. Just the sheer pressure of hoping you don't trip. You could toss the baby up in the air just as a stork is flying by, which snakes your baby midair and delivers him to another family. You could hold your baby outside in a football pose for so long, you think you're in a game and accidentally punch. You could feed him a bottle that's too hot. You could feed him and the bottle's too cold. You can make the bottle just right, but actually belong to the 3 angry bears. You could burp him so hard he needs a chiropractor. You could bathe him and get soap in his eyes. You could bathe him and get soap in your eyes. And can't see what you're doing and then poke him in the eye anyway. You could use the no tear shampoo, so it doesn't matter if it gets in his eyes. Only it's past the expiration date, so tears come. His mother could be in another room and call for a pair of scissors. Without thinking, you hand them to him and say, hurry, run. Any of these things could happen, but fortunately, I'm not, by nature, a worrier. To fully appreciate what having a baby does to your life, you need to really grasp the concept of baby time. Babies slow down time in 2 particularly exasperating ways. First of all, things that used to take 5 minutes now take an hour. When you add a baby to an activity, even something as simple as walking out the door, you must allow yourself 1 solid hour more than you used to. Feel free to lose entirely from your vocabulary the phrase, "we will be there in 20 minutes." It has no value. You will never again be anywhere in 20 minutes. Ever. Furthermore, things that feel like they're taking an hour actually aren't. But I was once so proud of having successfully entertained my son for an entire afternoon, only to glance at my watch and realize that 7 minutes had elapsed. Babies slow down time. Understand this. Accept it. Make friends with it. When we stepped into the plane, my wife holding our son, me lugging 3 bags, a collapsible stroller, a car seat, a video camera, and a pan of butter the size of Buddy Hackett, every person on the plane looked up with an expression that said, "Please, whatever you do, don't sit near us." I noticed directly across the aisle from us was a young couple who had been watching the whole show. Have you any kids? Oh, no, but we're thinking about it. Is that your first one? Oh, yep, first one. What's it like? Having kids, is it good? Oh, what do you think, honey? These nice people are thinking about having a baby. What do you think we should tell them? We looked at each other and smiled. Should we tell them that it's the hardest and scariest thing any sane people could ever do? Do we let them know that having a child drains you, depletes you, exhausts you, frustrates you? How can you explain that having a child drives you as far apart as you've ever been, but yet draws you together more deeply than ever before, all at the same time? You can't. Yeah, it's good, you'll see. What did we do before we had this boy? That, but now we're this. You know what? I like this better. Thank you all so much for watching today. I really appreciate your time.